We are back after a short hiatus on the road again, trying to visit every single CEX store in the entire world. And this time, this episode has a theme. This episode is all about cardboard bangers. Welcome to my continuing mission to visit every CEX store in the entire world. From the weird to the wonderful, the big to the small, I am here to visit them all. This is the crazy world of CEX. Hello again, folks, and welcome back to the crazy world of CEX. My mission is to try and visit every single CEX store in the entire world. And we are back after a short hiatus over the summer on the road to visit 3 brand new CEX stores this time. And this time we are specifically looking for cardboard variants, as these are one of my favourite things to hunt for when I visit any CEX stores. We're talking slip cases, special edition covers, box sets. I'm after that cardboard goodness. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe. So I put new videos out every Saturday night at 5, so it's bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. And so far in this series, we have visited over 70 different CEX stores from all around the UK. So check out the playlist below. Who knows, maybe I've already visited your local CEX store. Now, on to our first store this time. Our hunt this time on the crazy world of CEX starts here at Serpentine Green on the outskirts of Peterborough. And full disclosure, this footage was filmed back in April, so some of the prices may be better or may be worse. But heading over to the Glass Cabinet of Dreams, there are some big bangers in here, including Castlevania The New Generation, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition, some really nice Sega boxed games here. And I was generally really impressed by this Glass Cabinet of Dreams. There is a really good selection of everything I love retro. Some box, some loose, some consoles, some games you don't see very often. We're off to a really strong start here at Serpentine Green. Even more retro here in this Glass Cabinet of Dreams. We have a really minty selection of Sega Dreamcast games, but sticking with the Sega theme, we have a Sega Mega CD game, something you don't see very often. One of the rarest and most expensive Evercade games, the Techno's Collection 1, and something I don't think I've ever seen before, which was really nice, this Sega Saturn joystick. And finishing things off, we have a high-priced PS1 banger in Castlevania Chronicles. Great stuff here. We're moving on to the Xbox One section because the theme of this episode is cardboard. Be it box sets, slip cases, different covers, we are looking for cardboard rarities in CEX this time, because much like steelbooks, they will charge the same price for the cardboard version of a game as they will the standard version most of the time. And this was really nice, and one you don't see very often, Toy Story 3 for the PS3 in this really nice cardboard slipcase. It's just little differences and little rarities like this that just really make these games pop. And here we have the Mass Effect trilogy for the PS3, but the thing is, with collecting cardboard, it is all about condition. You can see on the top there, this had a little bit of damage, and at this early point of hunting in this store, I can afford to be picky, so we'll carry on the hunt in the Xbox 360 section, where, somewhat quite ironically, what's the first piece of cardboard we find here? Wait for it. It's the Mass Effect trilogy once again. But sadly, once again, this was a little bit worse for wear, so I did decide to pass, but the hunt continues. Speaking of hunting, when you are hunting for retro in any CEX store, you have to look absolutely everywhere, as of course every CEX store only has finite shelf space, and there was a very large selection of retro hiding here behind the Glass Cabinet of Dreams. Changing things up and heading to the Nintendo Switch section, and here is a Switch game, and a game I've never played before. The first ever Super Mario RPG. Now let me know in the comments down below, should I go back and play the original SNES version of this game or this Switch version? Let me know which is best down below. Finally, we're headed to the PlayStation 4 section, and something I love collecting for, PlayStation VR. Now, I know a lot of people don't like VR, and especially PSVR, but I'm a massive fan. I've got a really big selection of games already in my collection, and this is one I do need to add to my collection, but unfortunately, not today. Now, remember what I said earlier? When you are hunting in CEX, you have to hunt everywhere, and I found some really nice cardboard hiding here behind the counter at CEX. Our next store here on the crazy world of CX is St Albans, and whilst this is a much smaller store, I was not prepared for how good the Glass Cabinet of Dreams was here in St Albans. We have some boxed N64 games, some boxed Sega Saturn games, a really good selection of Mega Drive games, but nothing prepared me for the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 selection they had here. Now, there's some really good PS1 games in really nice condition, but when it comes to the PS2 selection here, these are some of the rarest, most expensive PlayStation 2 games that anyone could ever hope to add to their collection. Some of the best horror games ever released, and I think this is only the first or second time I've ever seen the Silent Hill collection in the flesh. Some absolute holy grails here for sure. Much like PlayStation VR, I love collecting for the Wii U. At one point, I was very close to going for a full set. I think I stopped around 80 games, and it's because of games such as this one that are getting harder to find and more expensive to pick up. That shmup collection is actually a numbered, limited release, but who knows, maybe one day I'll complete my full Wii U set. But carrying on here at St Albans, we're back on the cardboard theme in the most unlikely of places, as here we have some PSP cardboard, something you do not see very often and really cool to see. Here's a cool cardboard sleeve for one of my favourite games of all time, Borderlands 2. Now, I'm pretty sure I already have this in the collection, as anytime I normally see any Xbox 360 cardboard, I will pick it up. But this is one I've been wanting to pick up for a very long while. Dante's Inferno, but specifically the Death Edition. Very hard to find in good condition. Carrying on the Xbox 360 section, we have Need for Speed Carbon. This is the collector's edition, which does come with this cardboard sleeve. Once again, really nice condition here. Sticking in the Xbox 360 section, here's a game you don't see very often, Rumble Roses. Now, I'm slowly trying to add every wrestling game ever to my collection, but with that one, it's hard to bring myself to pick it up. Recently, I've been really enjoying collecting for the Xbox One, simply because you can pick up Xbox One games super cheap at the moment. I'm kind of guessing because a lot of these games have been released on Games Pass, but of course I'm first and foremost a physical collector, and it is genuinely amazing how many games you can pick up for the Xbox One around the £5 mark, and there's some really good games, including Biomutant you just saw, and that game Metro Exodus. But back on the cardboard theme, this is a subset I've been wanting to go for a very long while, and it's another one crossed off the list, not just of the Lego sleeves, but another CX store off the list. Our final CEX store this time is Hatfield, and even though this is housed in an absolutely ginormous mall, it is a surprisingly small store. But I've said it multiple times over the years, we do not judge a CEX store by its size, we judge it by its contents, and judging by the window display here at Hatfield, we are in for an absolute treat. This is one of the best window displays I've seen in a CX store for a very long time. Straight to the PS3 section, we find our first bit of cardboard this time, Ratchet & Clank All for One. Now, I did pass on this one as it just looked like it wasn't in the best condition, much like this South Park Fractured But Whole for the PS3, because like I said throughout this episode, cardboard is all about condition. If you didn't know, I'm a massive TMNT fan, and I've recently started watching for the first time ever the TMNT cartoon from the early 2000s. So when I saw this game was in stock here at Hatfield, I knew I had to grab it. But when it comes to PS2 games, and most games in general which come with a manual, I'm only picking it up if it has the manual. Now, I did search for a few of these games on the shelf to see if the manuals are out on the shelf, so fingers crossed the manuals are behind the counter. Heading over to the Xbox 360 section, and this episode we have seen a lot of Xbox 360 rarities out on the shelves. Now, normally these higher value games are kept in the Glass Cabinet of Dreams, so it's very strange to see these out on the shelves. Heading over to the PlayStation 5 section, and recently there's been some pretty bad Lord of the Rings games, so let me know if you've played Return to Moria. I actually really enjoyed the Karate Kid games. I would have picked that one up, but the cover's reprinted. And here's one I'm interested in, Lego 2K Drive. So if you've played any of those games, please comment down below. Heading over to the Glass Cabinet of Dreams, and once again a really good selection of both loose and boxed retro here. Not quite as good as St Albans earlier in the episode, but honestly, this is the kind of thing you love to see when you go into a CEX store. Stacked shelves of retro. When it comes to the Wii, I feel I have pretty much every Wii game I need for my collection, but this is one which is sorely missing. Sin and Punishment. This is an absolutely fantastic game which is getting higher and higher in value, so definitely want to grab up sooner rather than later. But the opposite end of the spectrum, here we have a wrestling game I did need to add to my collection. Like I said, I'm trying to add every wrestling game for a quid. Very happy to grab this one. So that was 3 brand new CEX stores, some really good hidden retro once again here at Hatfield. But we have one final stop, as is tradition here on the crazy world of CX, my local CX store here in the fine city of Norwich. And I'm hoping we can end this episode on a high with another cardboard find. Here we are then on a busy Monday morning at my local CX store here in the fine city of Norwich, and our final chance this time to try and find some awesome cardboard to add to the collection. And we're starting off in the PS4 section, looking through these Lego games, seeing if we can find any more of these slipcases. Unfortunately, no luck in the PlayStation 4 section, and again, unfortunately, no luck in the Xbox One section. You have no guarantee you're going to find any of these slipcases in any CEX store, but it sure is going to be fun trying to find them over the next few months. I'm sure eventually I can find all of these in the wild and hopefully not have to resort to eBay. This was the only other piece of gaming cardboard I managed to find on the shelves this time here in Norwich. This Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That was until I went to the glass cabinet of dreams and spotted a bona fide bargain. A £10 CIB, very minty Game Gear game. It just goes to prove you never know what you'll find in any CX store. Let's take it back for the pickups. Here we are then, back in the game. So after hitting up 3 brand new CEX stores here on the crazy world of CX, and we managed to find some awesome cardboard to add to the collection this time, even though some of it was pretty well hidden in CEX, including our first pickup right here from Serpentine Green. It is the Borderlands 1 and 2 box set for the PlayStation 3, and I love the Borderlands games. I've heard like mixed things about Borderlands 4, so I am holding out a little while before I pick that one up. But this is a really nice box set, and this was hidden behind the counter. It's £5 for this box set, which contains both of the games. Now, they are pretty much the exact standard versions of the games, but on the back they do say not to be sold separately. And there's little differences and little rarities like this I love finding in CEX. Our next CEX store was St Albans, and once again we managed to find some awesome cardboard for the collection, and I've decided it's time. So many YouTubers and collectors before me have collected this subset, and my time is now. I've seen both gaming rarities, retro ghetto, loads of YouTube collectors collecting this subset. It is the Lego slipcase subset. So I already have 2 of these in the collection, being Lego Jurassic World and Lego Harry Potter. This is the 3rd of the set. I think there's about 10 of these, and this is definitely a set I'll be keeping an eye out for anytime I visit any CEX store. Our final CEX store this time was Hatfield, and we have not 1 but 2 pickups from this store, and it goes to show not everything you pick up from CEX has to be expensive. Now sadly no cardboard here, but I did manage to find some pretty awesome steelbooks, which you'll see in a future episode of my other series, Steelbook Hunting in CEX, and trust me, on this trip we struck steel. But back to the day, and our first pickup for the pricely sum of £1 is TNA Impact from the Nintendo Wii. As I said in the video, I'm slowly going for a complete wrestling game collection, and that means not just the WWE games, not just the WWF games, we're talking ECW, WCW, even TNA, and this was a golden age of TNA. We're talking 6-sided rings. On the cover we have AJ Styles, peak Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. Maybe this isn't the best way to play this game, but for £1 for a complete Wii game, I had to pick this one up for the collection. I have been a lifelong TMNT fan. I grew up watching Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. I have fond memories of unwrapping the action figures at Christmas. I remember getting Shredder, a Foot Soldier and Splinter, because at that time you couldn't get the Turtles figures themselves. but it's only recently I've started watching the early 2000s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, and that's why when I saw this game right here, TMNT Mutant Melee, I knew I had to pick it up. This was only £6. I was worried when I saw this on the shelf as it didn't have the manual in the box, but this store does keep the manuals behind the counter, as so many CEX stores do, and that's a pretty good looking manual right there. I just love the artwork of these TMNT games. At first I wasn't really sold on this series because some of the turtles sound a bit weird. I'm not a massive fan of the art style of the animation, but the more I watch this, the more I love it. I just can't believe it's taken me over 20 years to jump into this part of the TMNT franchise. So very excited to jump into more of this franchise's TMNT games. Our final stop this time, as is tradition here on the crazy world of CX, was my local CX store here in the fine city of Norwich. And for one last time, we are on the hunt for cardboard. And this time we managed to find the greatest of all the gaming cardboard, retro cardboard. We managed to find a boxed CIB Sega Game Gear game for just £10. This is even in a box protector. It doesn't look like the most exciting game of all time, Putt and Putter. I wasn't really expecting to pick up a golf game when I went to CX this time, but condition and price wise, this is in amazing condition. For a game from 1991, it's like this has never been played with, which there's a pretty high chance no one ever played this game, because I can't imagine the kids lining up to play Putt and Putter. But I love collecting for the Sega Game Gear. I love the artwork of these boxes, and most of all, for the price especially, I love retro cardboard. There we have it, folks. That was another episode of the crazy world of CX, and 3 more stores crossed off the list of frankly hundreds I still have to visit all around the world. And visit them I will eventually, because I love hitting up any CEX store, as you never know what you're going to find, as hopefully today has shown, and you'll be joining me all along the way as I slowly build my dream gaming collection. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and join me next time to find out if I'll be hitting up your local CEX store here on the crazy world of CEX. See you soon!